Hello, my awesome project managers. How you doing today? It's time once again to talk about earned value management. It gets better with time, right? I've got so many videos out there, but as the exam begins to morph and change, I hear more and more things from students and on social media. So I try to make it very clear. The bottom line is this. You have four metrics: cost performance index, cost variance, schedule performance index, and schedule variance. So your metrics revolve around cost, all right? These two are cost, and this is schedule, just like this one, right? Now, the only difference is that the cost performance index has to do with indices, right? An index. The schedule performance index has to do with an index, which means there's no currency. It's just a number like 1.2 or 0.5 or 0.8, things like that. On the flip side, when it comes to the variance related metrics, the cost variance is a number. So it could be a minus $10, or it could be a minus $10,000, or it could be a plus $5 or a plus $50 and so on. Schedule variance, same thing. It's a dollar amount. So it could be a plus 100, it could be a minus 2, and things like that. For your exam, you need to be able to interpret what the numbers mean. That is the main thing. Don't go crazy on the formulas, because I have learned from a number of folks that is not very paramount anymore. And I've also heard that the graphs, they don't even really appear anymore. They used to, not anymore. So even though I teach it still, you probably will not get a graphical question on earned value. But as people say, you just hope you won't. Who knows? So this is what I want us to do today. If I tell you the schedule performance index is equal to 0.6, this means you are only 60% efficient schedule-wise. What does that mean? That means if you are going to get something done on your project in a day, you promise, I'm going to get all of this stuff done. When all is said and done, you would only get 60% of the scheduled work done. So if you planned to get 100 blocks moved, at the end of the day, you only got 60 blocks moved. You understand? So think about it. If I planned to get 100 things done, right, within a time box, that's the key thing. We're dealing with a time box. Okay, let's say it's a one-day time box. I said I would get 100 done, but when all was said and done, I only got 60 done. See, you're only 60 out of 100 in terms of the time box, what you said you would do within the time box. Let me give you another example. SPI of 0.8. What this means is, for example, if on a project I said I would dig 10 trenches in, let's say, 5 days, but at the end of 5 days, I had only dug 8 trenches, 8 out of 10 within the time box. That's what the SPI means. So the SPI, when you boil it down, is really looking at the work done divided by the work that you scheduled. See it? How many did I do? 8. How many did I schedule? 10. SPI is 0.8. How many story points did I say I would get done? I said I would get 150 story points done for my team, with my team. How many did I actually get done? I only got 75 story points. This is what I did. This is what I planned. You get it? And that's the schedule performance index. But they're not really going to ask you a lot of calculations. They're just going to give you numbers on the exam. What about cost performance index? What does this mean? Cost performance index is the earned value divided by the actual cost. It's how much you did versus how much you spent. As far as the schedule variance, in my example, let's say you had the earned value, because that's what it is, right? Let's say the earned value was 8 and the planned value was 10. Then in this case, you can see you got a negative, you got minus $2. That means you are behind schedule, right? That's what that means. Okay, let's go to cost variance. In the cost variance example, cost variance is earned value minus actual cost. If your earned value, again, let's say it's $8 and your actual cost is $12, your cost variance is minus $4. See that? That means you are $4 over budget. So you got to be specific with the over budget, behind schedule, under budget, ahead of schedule, whole mantra, right? So just remember, if you are late, you are behind schedule, right? If you're early, you are ahead of schedule, right? Also remember, in terms of budget, if you have spent more, right, you're over budget in the hole, as they say. This is a bad situation. Or you could be under budget, which is not a bad situation, right? Under budget could be looked at as a good or favorable situation, depending, right? But the PMI isn't going into the minutia of how much over budget or under budget are you. You're over budget, you're over budget. You're under budget, you're under budget. So let me give you a few very quick questions. So if your SPI is 0.75, you tell me, is this good or bad? You tell me. If your CPI is 1.14, you tell me, is it good or bad and what it means? If your schedule variance is minus $700, you tell me what that means. And if your cost variance is $6.50, you tell me what that means. All right, if you need more time, hit the pause button, and I'm going to explain these, and we're going to wrap this up. Okay, so this is what it means. For the very first one, this is bad, right? Poor performance. And what this means is you're only getting 75% of the work scheduled. 75% of the work scheduled was done. No boss is going to smile at you with that one because you're late. You're not necessarily over budget at this point. We don't know that. But what we do know from an SPI is in terms of schedule. So you are behind schedule. That's really what it means, right? So you are behind schedule. What about CPI of 1.14? This means you are ahead of schedule, right? It's a favorable situation. And that means you got $1.14 work done for $1. That is not bad, is it? It's not bad. However, if you work for certain bosses, they would say, how did you get so much done for $1? What did you do in your estimate? Did you pad? Did you tell us it will cost more when you really knew it would cost less? So you got to be careful in the real world, especially working with government. If you look too good, you're going to be in trouble. They're going to rattle your chain a little bit. All right. Schedule variance minus 700. When we have a negative number, anything under 0 is bad, right? So equal to 0 is right on target for the variances. Less than 0 is bad. Greater than 0 is good. So this is behind schedule. Anything negative is bad. So you got to get your convention straight. Even though it's negative, it's not. You're not ahead. You are behind schedule in this case. In fact, this one is a little bit easier than the cost one of variances. So a negative is bad. You're behind schedule. So this, I'll just say, is unfavorable. That's the language. Unfavorable. You are late. You are late. And we could just say there is $700 of work outstanding for you. That is not a good thing. All right, so it's unfavorable. All right, let's take a look at the final one. Final one is cost variance. You got a cost variance of $6.50. So this is good. You are under budget. Okay. And that's the story pretty much about earned value management. I'm hoping that these examples are going to help you, because I know some folks, they are studying a lot of earned value, too much earned value. I don't want you to study earned value needlessly. I want you to study it just enough to understand what the exam could be like. But I definitely don't want you doing it ad nauseum, because the law of diminishing returns could kick in. You know, there's only so much earned value you should study for the exam before it becomes redundant. So let me show you in closing, I'll show you the summary here, what you should do before your test. Let's go here. And this is really a shout out to one of our friends, Vicky, who just joined the Praizion honorary group on YouTube. If you look in our videos, you'll always see a button that says join. You can join, and then you can ask when you've joined for videos of whatever you are stuck on. And we always give you preference because you're one of our honorary members on YouTube. So right here, we can see what SPI, CPI, SV, and CV numbers should be thought of as. We can see if you're less than 1 on the far right of the screen. I'm just going to put a box around it. If you're greater than 1, you're ahead, less than 1 behind, equal to 1 on target. See, same thing with these, under budget, over budget, on target. So if you get these conventions straight, what it means when you have a SPI, CPI, CV, SV less than 1, greater than 1, zeros for the variances. So the variances are all about the 0, right? Because they're variances. The indices are all about the 1, okay? Highly advise you take a screenshot of what I'm showing you on the screen right now, okay? And then also do this little exercise, okay? Do this little exercise, okay? As I go through them one by one, take a second and hit the pause button. Good, bad, or something else. Good, bad, or something else. Hit the pause button, train yourself on this stuff. Good, bad, or something else. Good, bad, or something else. Good, bad, or something else. That one is suspicious. That means you're 3 times as efficient as you said you would. There could be a problem. Okay. All right. Now the exam won't go that far, like I did just now, challenging. What does it mean? Maybe, you know, that kind of questioning your high SPI. It may not be like that on the test. I think it's going to be a lot easier. A lot easier. All right. Here we go. Good, bad, or something else. Good, bad, or something else. What do you think? Good. What about this? Highly suspicious. What about this? All right, my friends, that is it for earned value management. That is as far as I'm going to go. I think adding anything else, doing anything more than this is just a waste of time. My last students who got certified, I believe I spent maybe 15 minutes with them on earned value. They've forgotten their PMPs now. They've forgotten their PMPs. So that's all for today, my friends. I hope this helped. Vicky, I hope this helps you. Don't sweat the graphs, okay? I know there's graph training here on YouTube. Don't sweat the graphs. Focus on what I've trained you on today. You'll be good. Okay? You take care, and I'll speak to you soon.